And it's showtime again. Welcome, guys, to the next LinkedIn Live. And soon my guest will pop up on the screen. Hello, Danni. Warm welcome. Good to
Hi.
have you here. This was a LinkedIn Live, which I was looking forward the most in the last days. And I have discovered you on LinkedIn, logically. The algorithm is not that stupid, and it showed me your first post, and I was immediately fan because you are a true, authentic voice. And I love your lifestyle, which is completely different than most people do. And this was the reason I thought, okay, I definitely need to have Danni Erber in my LinkedIn Live. So welcome, and could you please introduce yourself briefly?
Sure. Thank you very much for your words. So I'm Danni. I'm happy that you're listening today. What to say about me? I'm 31. I'm living with my two dogs in a camper van. We're traveling through Europe, and for about 4 years, I'm already running my own company. I started with a social media agency, but then I completely fell in love with LinkedIn. And for about 2.5 years, I think, I am focusing on LinkedIn. And that's also going to be the topic today.
Yeah, and you have inspired me. I need to openly admit that got inspired by your about section because I had the classical, very stiff bullet points, and I love the way you storytell. So I steal some elements of it and applied it for me as well because that's the way we do it. If you find something cool. So for guys who are listening, and by the way, for those who are here for the first time, you can ask questions, and I will display the questions on the screen, and I will read the question loud out because I know that several of my customers are watching the shows while they are doing sports and stuff like that. So if you have a question to Danny or to me, simply place it there and I will place it on the screen and we will answer it. Good. Yeah. You How did it come that you live in a van? I remember your first post was, I'm fed up with Austria and now I'm leaving. This was the first post from you. What I remembered, it was probably, I don't know, 18 months ago. I don't know how longly I follow you. I need to catch it up. So what was the main reason to start your nomadic life?
Or there's much more to it than just not liking Austria, because actually that's not true. I love Austria, but I can't identify with everything that's going on there, or the style of life, let's say. Um, how can I tell you this story short? I was working for 5 years on a cruise ship, so traveling was a very big part of my life already. I stopped 2019, briefly before COVID started. At the same time, the cancer of my mom returned, so I decided to stay home. And in 2022, we lost her. And at this time, I was already for about, I think, 5 or 6 months self employed. And I slipped from grief into depression. And I knew that I needed to change something in my life. And like the sea, I don't know how it's with you guys, but the sea has such a calming and healing effect on me. And already, I think after a few weeks in Spain, close to the sea, I got my smile back. So that's how I got into van life.
And you are very open in your content. So how do you decide what you would like to share with people and to keep private? Because what I see on your profile is raw, unfiltered, cool content. It's human, it's authentic, it's touching the wound points. So how do you decide, do I still post this or is it too private?
I actually don't know if there is something that's too private for me personally. I'm opening up about a lot of things because I want to move people, and I know that my stories are helping others. I talk a lot about grief and the loss of my mom. I'm talking about therapy because, in my opinion, it's so important to talk about therapy. And as well, I'm talking about all topics that are very close to my heart. So if it resonates with people, if they feel something when they read my content, I already won. But what do I tell to my clients? Because this is a little different, I guess. I always say there's a difference between personal and private, and you are deciding what's in the category of personal and what's private. You need to feel okay about what you share online. And I know that not everybody sets these limits the same as I do.
When I read your posts, they are so real that and it's not like, oh, I would like to impress someone. So how did you learn it? Did it always come naturally to you, or have you somehow grow into it? And by the way, we have already Mexico, France, Estonia, Slovenia, and Switzerland, and the spectators. Very, very. So how was it? How did you come into it?
Actually, it was a process. If you guys scroll way back on my content, and please do not, it was different at some point, because I also posted content where I wanted to sound smart and I wanted to sound professional, and I used buzzwords, and it definitely was a process and a journey. I think I then just decided I need to change something as well, because my content didn't resonate. I almost had no engagement, I had no reach, and then I thought I need to change something. And I asked myself, what content do I like to read? I do not want to read the next post which just gives you 5 tips to do something. I want to read the story of somebody. I want to look behind the scenes. And that's when I changed my content. And then I saw it resonates.
So Kadri is going for a scroll now. Please do so. I feel very cringe. I have very cringe feeling when I look at my old content as well, because it was probably similar or simply boring like hell. Because I used long time LinkedIn as my private and personal blog until I realized that the people don't care about your personal life unless you are an expert on some sort of topic. So first they need to accept you as an expert, in my case expert in career coaching. Then they are interested what are your hobbies, for example, but it's not the opposite way. And 6 years ago I was sitting in the same chair in another office and I found like 10 different excuses why exactly me cannot do content on LinkedIn, which leads me to the next question. Like a lot of people say, I don't want to annoy anyone on LinkedIn. I don't I don't post this is too controversial. So what's your take on that?
I think these are two different topics. The first one, I don't want to annoy anybody. I hear this very often, but more in the context of how often should I post. If I post 5 times per week, will it annoy people? Will I show up too often? There, the answer is no, because your posts will not be shown every day to the same people. And also there's something called like the spotlight effect, which is like you think about yourself the most. The others do the same with themselves. So they will never sit there and think 5 minutes about, oh my God, what did Danni post today? They will not do it. So you have to get past this. And about the controversial thing, I mean, say what you think. Don't just post controversial posts just for the sake of reach and, I don't know, to get some kind of reactions. But if you have an opinion, just say it.
Yeah, I was thinking as well. I was like, who would be interested in my topic? Until my coach of those days, Tom Kent, a US guy with roots in Czechia, told me, Václav, don't tell me that after 30 years of leadership experience in the pharma industry, you have nothing to say what some younger colleagues would appreciate. So I started to scratch my bald head and say, yeah, probably there would be something. So I starting like grind my teeth and put something together. And today I look every day into posting or creating newsletter. What is your posting schedule?
I post at least 3 times per week. But sometimes I also post 5 times per week. It just depends on what I have to say and also how busy my week is. But Monday, Wednesday, Friday is for sure a posting day.
Do you have sometimes the urge as well? Now this needs to be posted. Yeah.
I had this today. Actually, the post today is one of those posts because I have like 5 or 7 posts already ready in my pipeline. and I just wanted to choose one today in the morning. But then I was scrolling through the news feed, and some things really made me angry. So I needed to write this down, and I couldn't wait to post it on another day. I needed to post it today. So
Yeah.
this happens very often.
Yeah. My schedule is Sunday evening, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday normally. But there is something really actual, like visit of a president of Czechia and Switzerland, and it's on Friday. Then I post on Friday as well. That's true. When I was preparing for this LinkedIn Live, so I went through your content, and one of your posts you've been claiming it's not about posting more, it's about posting differently. So what does it actually mean?
There's the advice out there, and I think that this is very toxic to some degree and puts a lot of pressure on especially beginners to post daily. You don't need to post from Monday to Friday or to Sunday, because some people are even doing this. You need to find your voice, and there's much more to LinkedIn than just posting, right? Especially in the beginning, comments give you much more visibility than your own posts will, and you will learn also so much by commenting on the posts of others. So
This is a nice
you're
one.
distracting me.
I've noticed that his posts do best when she's annoyed at LinkedIn bullshit. Yeah, that's because then it gets really super authentic.
It's true.
What was your most honest or vulnerable post you posted until now? I've seen several of those. So, what was your favorite?
I can't decide which one, but I guess one that's still in my mind is from last birthday, because I posted on my birthday a picture of my mom and myself when I was still a kid, and I had a cake she baked me. My mom is on the picture because, like, my birthday is for me and my mom. We always spent it together. So I pre-planned a post about this, and I think this was one of the most personal and emotional posts ever. This
Aha.
was Ilvi.
Yeah, we say that if something doesn't run right in the LinkedIn Live, we blame it either on dogs or on Elon Musk, because Danni is using Starlink satellite. So it was 99.8% connection until now. So let's hope it stayed like this. Better to have a dog barking in the back than getting some interruption with the connection. So that's good. So you live in a van, you travel with two dogs. Where are you actually?
At the moment, I'm in Bulgaria, very close already to the border to Romania.
Okay.
And it's beautiful, guys. You need to visit this country.
Yeah, there are so many countries which are so heavily underrated. Czechia, Poland, Bulgaria, Romania. There's somewhere for the people in their minds, somewhere like hint to the Iron Curtain. Still, I freaking out if I hear it, but that's the way it is. On the other hand, it's beautiful. People are friendly, and the vacations are cheap there. So you travel in a van with two dogs, but you still run a business. So how do you bring your lifestyle in your content so it feels natural to you?
I
And not
mean,
like a travel blog.
you've been on my profile, so my lifestyle is a big part of my whole brand, of the personal brand, also on my profile. Because, and actually, there a shout out to Kadri, who's here because she did my banner. But back to the topic. For me, it's very important that people see me on LinkedIn the way I am, and also today in the life, you see my life here. You see that I'm sitting in a camper van. You hear my dogs, and that's also something my clients will see in the coachings. So I don't want to show something that they will not get. So this is for me very important, because my dogs may bark during coachings, as right now, for example. And how is it not a travel blog? My pictures are always from my travels. So if you see my pictures, they're the big part of the visual personal brand, which are always connected to van life. The content is different, because this is more about LinkedIn strategy, how to win clients. And on the weekends, I often post very casual posts, and talk a little bit more about my travels, what I'm experiencing in the country where I am right now.
What is very true, what you just mentioned about the brand with the when is the dogs, this was something I fell in love immediately from the first post. Not that I'm such a kind of nomad. We are older folks, already over 60, so we prefer, if we travel mostly by car and then get a bed and breakfast or a hotel. But we live in a similar way. When we go on vacation, we have a very rough cut planning, but no specific rooms to stay. We book everything as we go spontaneously on the ride. So, and I immediately, probably if I would be 30 years younger, I will try something like that as well. So this is cool.
But temple life is very comfy, just to
Yeah.
say.
What would be your advice to someone who is like watching us talking and still lurking on LinkedIn and not getting started to create content? So what is your advice for an absolute beginner?
Start with commenting. Forget about your own content for now, but just start commenting on the posts of other people. This has several advantages. Like the first one is you will learn so much. You will learn how to write content because you will see where it's easy for you to comment on. If a post is too long, if it's not formatted right, I don't know how to say it in English. In German, we say like it looks like a sausage text.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know how it's called in English. So you will learn that you will not do your content in this way because it's hard for you to comment on posts like this.
Mm-hmm.
You will learn that it's smart to make a call to engage at the end where it's easy to answer to. So you are learning a lot. And the second part is that you already build your network. When you start posting, you will already have a community which is here to support you. You will already have people commenting on your posts. So also one of my clients is here today. He's the guy who is sitting in Mexico, Julian. I saw his name before. When he started out, his first post, I think, had over 90 reactions. Just because he was commenting in the start and he already had a community. And this already boosts also like your motivation when you're starting out.
Mm-hmm. And if I may add something on it, there is the very important advice from Richard van der Blom or from Yasmin Alic. Consider your LinkedIn comments as a micro post.
Yeah.
Structure them, put some emojis into it, structure, and don't put such a block of text. Just make it that it's friendly for the eye, and then people are going to read it. I highly appreciate now the new functionality that you can see how it took ages. You had it already. It took like 3 weeks until I saw it as well. Now it's there, and so you get sometimes thousands of views on your comment. So it's so powerful. And I think what's beautiful on LinkedIn is this give and take. You comment on other people's profiles and then you get something back. And this is the only platform which delivers this. All the others, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, egomanic show, and LinkedIn is really rewarding you when you are interact with other people. So that's
100%. And as you said, now we can all see with the comment impressions how much visibility they're really giving us.
Yeah.
Before I always said it, but people didn't really believe me. But now you can see it with the impressions. And if you, for example, are one of the earliest who's commenting on the post of Yasmin Alic, for example, and he also shares his posting time, so you can be one of the first ones if this is something you want. You may have comment impressions of thousands.
Yeah.
And this brings you a lot of visibility. You will see with great comments, you will get a lot of incoming requests as well. So put effort to your comments.
And we have first question from Robina Weinzettel from the audience. How do you keep up ideas for interesting content posting 3 to 5 times a week? In my imagination, this is not easy.
I'm happy that you're here, first of all, and I love the question. So I write just everything down that comes to my mind during the week. You can do it on your phone, in an app, on just with pen and paper. But where you get the ideas, first of all, like in my case, when I scroll through LinkedIn, I already have a lot of ideas what I could post about. And as well, questions people ask you in the comment section, in the DMs, for example, or if you do not have this big reach yet, Also go to your competitors and check out the comment section there, what people are asking them, because this is what they really want to hear and what they're interested in. And like this, you already have 10 plus ideas. And if there's one topic, you can write more posts about it as well.
I would add you can use Perplexity as well to ask what is the hot topic right in your area of expertise. There's another one. You can go what people are searching on Google. That's another tip. In your area of expertise,
Yeah.
people also search for functionality. And I do the same. I write everything down into my mobile phone, and I could probably spit content 3 times a day for the next, because there are constantly new ideas. And the more you do it, the easier it gets.
That's completely true. And also just do like sparing sessions with ChatGPT, for example. Because if you tell them what you're doing, who's your target group, and then say, okay, give me content ideas which are about the pain points of my ideal client, for example, you will have so many ideas.
Exactly. And we will talk more about AI and usage of AI and how we keep our authentic voices still by using AI later on in this round. I would like to read the comment of Eve Meyer. LinkedIn algorithm can be tricky to navigate. Posts about celebrations like new jobs or certification often get much more visibility than a thoughtful content on niche or highly relevant topics. That's frustrating. Yes, that's the way it is, but that's LinkedIn is built around celebrating new jobs, and that's the you never get such a huge fuss when you do something like that. But at the end, it's all vanity metrics, and that's the famous statement. My mostly viewed post was a 9 seconds video when I'm doing a very funny yoga exercise. It get 230,000 views, like 100 reposts, 1,000 comments. What was the result out of it? One client. So basically, that's the relationship. 230,000 reactions on something and one client. And basically, this is something what you can expect. So don't be too much hung up to your views, but much more to the comments, what people are doing. And yeah, that would be my take on that.
The algorithm in general is very frustrating. You can't understand it, so don't try. Like what's very interesting is always like the algorithm report of Richard. He just published this. There you can learn a lot, but also I was just in a masterclass with him last week, and he said it's changing so fast, right? Like the data in his report is until I think February, and since March or February until now, so many things have changed already yet.
Yeah.
There's one thing, just always remember this: you're writing the content for your audience, for the people, and not for the algorithm. I get that it's frustrating. It happens to all of us. Same for me, but as you just said, it's just numbers.
Yeah.
That's
I
what it
can
is.
give you intercultural competent advice. Pronounce his name correctly in the Dutch way, Richard. Because if you call it Richard, he laughs if he's called by a Richard. So Richard, because my business partner lives in the Netherlands, so not business partner for career consulting, but for my side business, which is supply chain training. So he's from Geldrop. So that's why I learned correct pronunciation of Dutch names. And today I use ChatGPT for that as well. Let's dive a little bit into the entire huge and sometimes controversial topic, artificial intelligence in content creation. I know that we are both using it. From my side, I'm producing content which is not completely stupid. I would say on LinkedIn for 6 years since I started to use the AI tool. In September, people coming to me and Václav, I love your content. You're writing with such authentic voice. So, let's make a big picture AI and content creation. How do you see it, Danni?
For me, it's a big part of content creation because it makes life more efficient, easier, and also it especially helps, and I think a lot of people are forgetting this. It helps people who don't feel comfortable writing. Not everybody of us is a born writer, and it's already a lot to show up here and do content, and AI can help immensely with this. We just have to be sure that AI is a tool and we have to use it correctly. It should never completely be used instead of your voice. but together with it. And there are great ways to use AI, and it will still read like you. Most of my posts are written together with AI, and I
And
don't think that you can detect it immediately.
no, the same for me, because I trained my tool by uploading all my content from 6 years, articles, videos, presentations, everything. And really, this tool started to write the way I write,
Yeah.
because I am very simple-minded person on writing. I love to talk, but I hate to write, and I write with 2 fingers only, which means for me is only if I would write with 10 fingers, I will probably write much more. But with the two, I'm very, very slow. For me, it's the AI like a typing machine, which takes away 80% of the stuff, and then I for sure rewriting it and adding my personal stories into it to sound it really human. And since the moment people love it, and I saving hours and hours every week just on the content creation.
But do you still type it, or do you use this voice recording
I
option?
I do both. I talk with it. I do phone calls with it. I type into it, or I copy and paste something inspirational which I found somewhere, and I add my. So it's combination of everything. I hate to be a slave of a system. So that's
No,
why I get the output of my system. I run it through several hook generators. Look what will be the great hooks. I definitely rewrite. I remove all the M dashes and all this kind of stuff. Grammarly helps them do it almost automatically. And yeah, and suddenly people say, oh, what authentic content. Yeah. It's AI. So that's the famous saying. It's not AI who is going to take your job away, is the person who is skilled by using AI.
true. I just wrote a post about this last week, which actually went viral. And there were a lot of opinions about it. Some were just like completely anti AI, and this is something I'm totally okay if people don't use it, but my take is don't shame people who are using AI.
Yeah. It's the sample. Yeah. Greg, that's a good one. I have to show it. Well, ha ha ha! Remove all the M dashes. Yeah, exactly. That's the way to go. No, no. But I openly stated, and I teach it the same story to my customers. Use AI. It's a tool. It would be like you have a Texas Instrument programmable calculator, and you are a scientist, and you still rely on your logarithmic ruler, and you spend 10 times so more time to get the calculation, even if you are able to do it correctly. Would you do this? No. You get your
No,
Texas Instruments or HP device, you program it, and then it does all your calculations, and then that's it. It would be stupid.
it's
I've
also just
seen.
important to train it, sorry, to train it properly. I mean, either there are tools for it like you're using, or if you work with ChatGPT, train it properly. And then I mostly get asked by my clients the question, yeah, but how do I train it properly? And as you also did, just feed it with text you've already wrote. You already have a lot, I'm pretty sure. And it's the same like info on your website and stuff. Put all of this into it. But the most important thing is that when you work with AI, it gives you a text, you optimize it, you edit some stuff, put the finalized text, the finished text back into ChatGPT and say, please learn from it. Because like this, it will learn your language more and more, and you have to edit less and less.
Yeah, exactly. I think if you learn how to prompt in the right way, and if you learn how to train your ChatGPT, Copilot, whatever it is, then the need for people who don't really post very, very often is almost zero to have additional tool. You come along with this very well.
No, that's
What
true.
I saw at Novartis, for example, Copilot was delivered tragic results compared, because at Novartis ChatGPT is blocked, and I'm training a lot of people from Novartis. And if you work with ChatGPT, the paid version, $20 a month, is simply unbelievable what it does and how quickly it is. Ah, Greg. Yeah, there's a really old school. I have my slide ruler right next to my national. Yeah, RPN is the best. I could show you my HP RPN, but I have to stand data, so it's not part of this. So RPN is the best story ever invented on calculators. So old guys meeting here. So before it stays boring, let's continue. I see in one of your posts you have criticized the overuse of titles like CEO or founder without any context. So what elements do you think make the LinkedIn profile stand out?
This post was especially about the headline or slogan, however people call it, in the profile, because very often I see that I see the name, let's say Danni Erber, and then I see CEO, founder, whatever, strategist. But the first 42 to 46 letters are so important in the headline because they will be shown to everybody when you comment somewhere, etc. So use them wisely and don't use it on some titles because nobody cares about them, to be honest. Put them in the work experience. There it's great. Also, like for when somebody's looking for some titles, CEOs of some companies, for example. But in the headline, just write as easy as possible. Keep it simple, guys. What are you doing? And who are you helping? And that's it. You don't need, it doesn't need to sound fancy. It doesn't need to be a fancy slogan. Just say, I help, let's say, I help CEOs to be visible on LinkedIn. That's all they need to know. In the second part of the headline, you can put a little bit more spice.
I teach my customers the same. I have following mantra: don't tell me who you are, so your current position, but tell me what you do. And it's
Yep.
the same for job seekers. If I'm a hiring manager and I look at your headline, I should immediately know what is the person good at. And this should come definitely in the first 45 characters, something like that. Yeah, keep
Because
your headline.
if they're interested in the headline, they will click on your profile, and then the next thing they see is the banner. So
Yeah.
also the banner you should prioritize the banner, guys, and a lot of people are not doing it. In your banner, it's important that, again, what are you doing? Who are you helping? Put some social proof in it. And most importantly, don't forget the call to action.
Yeah.
Where do you want to lead the people? Write this in your banner. Don't forget this.
And don't forget that LinkedIn is not your tombstone on a cemetery, but it's a living document. So the moment you see something, update it, change it. I have
Yeah,
rewritten the headline like 40 times.
same. It's changing
My
all the
my about section 30 times for sure. And last time after I've seen yours. So it's all the
same.
time good to admit when we are stealing something for somebody, because we all stay on the shoulders of giants, and we all learning, and we are all looking what works for us and what is what's delivering the good message to our audience. So in one of your posts you have shared about working 25 hours a week and you prioritizing work over hustle. So how do you arrive at this balance? It sounds like a miracle, 25 hours a week.
I guess it depends on what your goals in life are, I would say, as well. My goal is not to build an empire. My goal is not to make 10,000 euros per month. My goal is to earn lots of money, but in a decent amount of time. And my balance is I do a lot of focus work in the morning. So I wake up and I start to work. And I work like 4 hours, let's say, really focused. And then sometimes in the evening again after the sunset. I mean, my life is pretty much parallel to the nature. So when the sun is coming up, my small dog is waking me up. She wants to go outside. So this is when my day starts. And when it gets dark, I'm inside again. So that's it.
What kind of challenges did you face by doing this?
Doing what exactly?
Yeah, 25 hours a week. Don't people tell you you are lazy? What kind of, for sure, people challenge stuff like that. Did you hear something negatively? 25 hours, are you lazy or something like that?
I don't care about this, honestly, because I'm living my best life.
That's cool. That's
So
very
for sure, I mean, I also challenge people on this hustle posts. Just today, actually, I think we commented on the same post. A guy was but actually it was about something else. But often people are writing, you need to work this much and you cannot travel in the first 2 years when you're self-employed and all of this bullshit. And for me this is a very toxic hustle culture, but at the same time some people really love to do this, and it's okay if they do it. I just have a different way of life, so all of it can I don't know, happen at the same time, and it's totally fine.
Yeah. At the end, you learn that in the beginning, I was all the time asking myself, what would people think about it? Today, I post my stuff. I don't think a millisecond if somebody likes it or not, or he agrees or not. So that's all okay.
But to be
Wow.
honest, it was a challenge for myself, because when I started out, um, I had the feeling I need to work 24/7, because also this is how society, especially in Austria, also works. Even now, when I'm coming back to Austria for a short visit, I need to work very hard to not fall back into this rhythm.
Mhm.
As soon as I'm out of Austria, it's good again. As soon as across the borders to Austria, my inner Austrian is like, you need to work, 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 work. So this was a challenge as well, but I think it is great to be more mindful in life as well. This is something I'm working on.
We have 35 minutes, which is crazy because I have the feeling we just started. So we have 10 minutes to go, and then I need to close the call again. This is all the time a good sign when you have the feeling we could discuss together forever, because the
That's
topics are
true.
very interesting. In one of your posts, which I read, you reflected on therapeutic aspects on writing and filming. So how do those writing and filming influence your professional content and personal well-being? Could you elaborate on that?
Yeah, writing is for me kind of therapy. I can't explain it, but when I'm going through something, I need to write it down, and then it's also somehow out of my system and I can move on from it. Doesn't matter if it's emotion, if it's something that makes like a thought, whatever. Um, so it helps me a lot, and it gives me great content ideas, because today in the morning when I wrote this post, I was really angry about some of the posts I saw in my newsfeed. I wrote it down. I feel better now. So this for sure is a big part of content. The filming is something I just started doing now, and it has nothing to do with my professional life at all. As I'm traveling so much, I struggle to find a way to keep all of those memories, because I do not want to write more. I do not want to be a professional Instagram van lifer. So I just struggle to find my way. I bought a drone and I'm flying at every spot now with my drone, and I'm capturing these beautiful natures. So that's just for me.
Give
But
me
I'm
a
also,
second.
yeah.
Sorry for that noise, but Greg is triggering me. It's like hi all for Detroit, Michigan. So here is my Detroit Red Wing pack. So regards to Greg, who has all the time funny comments. You have as well uh, mentioned the importance stopping comparing yourself to other people on LinkedIn. So what strategies do you use to maintain focus on you and not compare yourself to others? Because we are all falling sooner or later, sometimes into the trap. Oh, he has so many views. Oh, this is so perfect and I'm so bad. So how do you deal with that?
There are different strategies. To be honest, I unfollowed a lot of people also from my marketing bubble, which are offering the same, but also I'm not really d'accord with what they're doing. Um, and I didn't want to compare myself. I didn't want to see how their reach is now that my reach is, for example, down at the moment. So if I don't see it, I cannot compare myself to them. Easy as that. And also tell yourself we're all unique, and each of us, we have our own voice. And we can, I don't know, we can write about the same topic, but it will be a completely different post, right? So
Yeah.
why compare it? I know I also fall in this trap from time to time. Maybe the best and healthy tip is just close LinkedIn for the day. Tomorrow
Yeah.
will be another day.
Yeah, yeah. This is a very wise decision. I sometimes come into a situation that I cannot see LinkedIn anymore, and that's exactly the one. Close it, go away, go for a walk, And what helps me is my cooperation with my daughter Christina, because we are then laughing about it and making stupid jokes about this bloated self promotions and superficial backpedding what people do on LinkedIn. This is the stuff which most people don't like to read, but still most of the people are doing it. So yes, we are unique, as Fortuna say, that's for sure. And when somebody told me like 7 years ago, you are a brand, as Coca-Cola, for example, but just not that famous one, I didn't believe it. And today I strongly believe, yes, we are a brand. Danni Erber is the van and the dogs and the cool LinkedIn content. And we are, as Shulista Consulting, dad and daughter working in the same office and taking care of the customers. And with my own personal Czechia story and all that. Yes, it's a brand and it's unique. And we need to be aware of it, that we are unique and use it. So for people who, a lot of people say, okay, LinkedIn is a professional platform. This is not a Facebook. I would never share any personal stories or opinions. So what is your take on that?
I have different takes on that. The first one is LinkedIn is changing, and it has changed, and it's not this strictly professional platform anymore, which it has been, I don't know, 2, 3, 4 years ago. So it is changing, and it's changing more to a social platform, and as well you build a personal brand on it, and it already has the word in it, personal. So you need to put some personality in it, and this is also the thing that makes you unique, and this is the reason you will not need to compare yourself to others. So this is my take on that. But I get that it's scary to share personal things, and let's say I very often hear this from CEOs of companies, less of like people who have their own smaller business. They feel more comfortable to write about personal stuff, whatever this personal stuff is. And sure, in some ways, it's not good to overshare.
Yeah.
So I always ask my clients some questions like, what topics are very close to your heart? What topics you just cannot stop talking about in your private life? Is there an extraordinary hobby, for example, you have? Or is there something you have in common with your ideal client? These are things you can talk about. You do not need to talk about the fights with your wife at the evening table. You don't need, I don't know, not everybody is sharing about the loss of their mom, for example. You have to do what's right for you, and also this is a process.
Yeah.
So just try it out, and you will see that you will reach a lot of people.
Thank for this beautiful quote, Stefan, about one of the most famous Stoic philosopher, Epictetus. Some things are under our control, others not, and the key of happiness is to understand the difference. Yeah, that's very true. And if somebody likes my content or not, I couldn't care less. That's the situation. But it was a process as well, and it took me probably 5 years to get into this stage of mind, and now it's good. So it's all about being real over being perfect, at the end. How can individuals embrace this imperfection so that they are imperfect? And how can you make a imperfection a perfection at the end?
You can't, but I mean, who's perfect? Nobody. So why aim for it? I have a lot of people also in my coachings who say that they are not expert enough yet, for example. I don't believe in this. I once heard, and I still remember this, you only have to be 2 steps ahead of your dream client.
Yeah.
So you don't need to be the expert, but be ahead of them 2 steps. And this is the same with content. And then you already have stuff to write about. But never aim for perfectionism, because nobody will reach it anyhow. And also it would be boring.
Yeah. And I absolutely agree with that. That's a beautiful ending of our, yeah, because Nobody cares, but we still are doing it. And that's the paradox on LinkedIn. And people say, yo, why should I create content when nobody cares? Exactly. You create content for a very, very tiny minority of people who are deeply interested in you. That's maybe 1 promille of the population, but those are the people who need to see
That's
your
true.
content. And all the others. And this is the state of mind which I developed by time. Thank you so much, Danni, to be my guest. It was very, very interesting, and it was a very nice connection thanks to Starlink. So all good. Dogs barked only once, and I could imagine that we could do a second take, maybe somewhere in autumn of this year when you have more stories to tell from your travels. And yeah, I'm wishing you all the best. Keep on inspiring us. And I look forward for your next post because I read most of them. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you very much for the invite. I had a lot of fun.
Thank you guys and have fun and keep on posting. Ciao, ciao. Bye, bye.
Bye.
I just closed the stream and we can stay in studio for a moment.